Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. So this time, what I'd like to talk about is, even the poorest country can create destructive missiles. So, where that poorest country is, let me take a moment. So, the correct maybe the correct name is Democratic People's Republic of Korea. So, abbreviating the official name or abbreviating the correct English name of that country. So the abbreviation is DPRK. DPRK is one of the missile launching countries, or maybe as long as I know, I think there are only three missile launching countries for now. And I'm creating this episode in 2022. So during which, or anyway, during which there is a war between Ukraine and Russia. So apart from Ukraine and Russia, there is only one missile launching country. So, or I think there is only one country which frequently launches missiles nowadays. So that is DPRK. And DPRK, so maybe where that country is, the answer is North Korea. So North Korea, maybe most of you know, most of you can understand by the name North Korea. I mean, most of you can understand which country I'm talking about, but with remembering the name North Korea. So anyway, the country I'm going to talk about is North Korea. So at first I said even the poorest country can create destructive missiles. So North, for now, North Korea is one of the poorest countries, all over the world. And how poor or how impoverished that country is that. So that the life standard of the citizens in North Korea is the same or around that or those of poor African countries or impoverished African countries. So there are many impoverished or poor African countries where the local people suffer from poverty or starvations, or malnutrition, or low levels of hygiene conditions, stuff like that. So so there is an Asian country having the similar condition to, or having the same condition to those poor or impoverished African countries. Anyway, so even such a country can create missiles, and this time there was a news which said that that country created a missile named Mars 17, and according to the broadcast, or according to the news, that Mars 17 got the entire territory of the United States into the range of the attack, which means that missile can attack any part of America. So, for example, so what I mean is, if that country launches a missile, and that it's possible for that country to hit somewhere in New York City, for example. So, and it's possible to hit somewhere in Maine, which I think is farthest state from Republic of Korea. Well, not the Republic of Korea, but North Korea. Republic of Korea is South Korea anyway. So such a poorest country, or such a most impoverished country could create such a dangerous missile. So thinking about it, so it's possible to say that. So here brings a conclusion. Here I brought a conclusion. So the conclusion of this episode is if your works are not going well, in most cases there must be some points possible to solve. I'm going to tell you again. So the conclusion of this episode is, if your works are not going well, in most cases there must be some points possible to solve. So of course, it's difficult. It's difficult for most countries, or it's difficult for most people to develop and create missiles, and and of course there are many things to. There, of course, there are many products hard to create or hard to develop. Actually, for example, so in the case of the vaccines of against COVID-19, or in the case of, for example, researching and developing doing researches and developments for tackling the pandemic of COVID-19. So since it's real, so those businesses, which means researches and developments for tackling the pandemic of coronavirus are really difficult. So of course, to start with researching and developing for creating a medicine is really difficult. So anyway, but so I don't know which one is easier to develop and create between nuclear weapons, or ICBM, or missiles, and um, medicines, or some medical instruments with higher technologies. But actually, so thinking about how difficult it is to research and develop some products. Thinking about such a thing, thinking about how hard for people, or for companies, or for countries to research, to proceed researches and develop some products, for example, tackling some pandemics, or of some viruses. So it's really such a thing is really hard for even developed countries, or some huge companies of developed countries. But actually, so this time, such a poorest country, even such a poorest country could create such missiles, like So I know the abbreviation. So ICBT. So so intercontinental. So bombarding missiles, stuff like that. I'm going to tell you afterwards the meaning of the abbreviations. So but thinking about such a fact that such medicines and missiles are difficult to create. So your works, if some problems in your works, they must be, at least they are as difficult as product development of missiles and vaccines against the coronavirus. Or if you have some problems in your works, so they must be, they can be far easier than the product development, or researching related to creating missiles, or vaccines against some viruses. Thinking about which, it's possible to say such a thing. If you have some problems in your works, or in your shores, those problems, at least, those problems are really difficult, it's comparing the difficulties between your works and the works necessary for creating missiles, or the works creating for no, not creating for creating vaccinations for tackling the pandemic of viruses. So what the problems of your works can be far easier, or can be slightly easier, or if they are difficult, if they are really difficult, those problems as difficult as the problems occurring in the works of missile creations or the vaccines creations, which is what I'd like you to imagine. So thinking about, this is, of course, this is a case even to my works, and I'm an office worker working for a sort of huge company in my country, but actually, of course, there are problems which frequently happen in some works or in some projects in my company. But so thinking so but thinking about the natures or thinking about the essences of those problems. So I don't think they are not so difficult. They are not so difficult as the problems which which is which would happen in the in the works the necessary for developing and creating missiles, or developing and creating some medicines or some vaccines against COVID-19. I think so. This, of course, this is my own perspective, but actually, because I don't have any experience of developing or researching related to missiles, or some development of anyway anyway I'm not experienced in. I have little experience in developing some weapons, and I don't have, and I maybe I don't talk about I don't talk about my own experience related to medical field. Anyway, so this, of course, this is a case to speaking English itself. So this time I'd like to tell you how difficult, I don't know, better said, how, anyway, this time I also want to talk about how difficult speaking English is. So just to start with, I don't take so much time, or I don't take long time for explaining how difficult, how easy speaking English is. So to start with, if apart from people having some severe disorders or having severe problems in handling or in the command of the use of languages, so most people can freely speak out, or most people can speak out their own mother tongues fluently. So thinking about such a condition. So yeah, I have stumbled, and I don't, of course, as you know, I don't speak English natively, nor and I do not understand English natively, but actually, so speaking out English is not so difficult. So of course, so I don't know, your what your occupation is, and I don't know what kind of works you have, but actually, so I compared with your works and speaking English, or if you are a non-native speaker of English language, speaking English is not so difficult. At least if you can create some missiles having the huge range enough to the United States of America from North Korea. If you have such a knowledge, or if you have such an intelligence high enough to create, for example, the vaccines against COVID-19 or coronavirus, I think you can easily. I think you can easily handle English language, and I think you can solve other types of problems, or other problems in ordinary workplaces. Of course, problems related to human relationships are really difficult, but so, such a problems are different from ordinary problems happening in works, because they are different in the essences, or in terms of the natures, or in terms of the essences of the problems. Problems related to human relationships are difficult, and and even intelligent scholars or even excellent workers feel tough or take tough to solve such problems related to human relationships. But actually, if you are intelligent enough, or if you are excellent enough as a worker, and if you are enough as a scholar, for example, so you can tackle and solve various kinds of problems related to your own works or related to other works. For example, the works necessary for creating some electronics, stuff like that. Please imagine stuff like that. So in in this case, or in this episode, I'd like to come back to the original topic of this episode, and the title is "Even the poorest country can create destructive missiles," and the conclusion is, if your works are not going well, in most cases, there must be some points possible to solve. So, even the poorest country can create missiles, and in this case, North Korea has few things and literal stuff. Thinking about such a condition, if you are it's really, I think it's really difficult for North Korea to engage some intelligent people and use and hire intelligent people, because that country is generally speaking, that country is really poor, and regulations are not decent in that country. But actually, even such a country can create such missiles having huge range enough to cover the entire territory of the United States of America, or the entire soil of the United States of America from North Korea. So I think if you have some problems in your country, and in most cases, frequent listeners are American people. So if you have some problems in your works, they are solvable, and in most cases, you can solve those problems, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So, and at last, I found out the meaning of ICBM. So, to start with, I wanted to speak out ICBM to start with, and ICBM is a type of missile, and this time North Korea created ICBM named, so the name, its Korean name is Fasonpo Shichirhyong. Fasonpo Shichirhyong. So, in using English, so Mars 17, or even Korean language, that is abbreviated, or so there's a shorter term, and there is a shorter term for the name of the missile, and that is fason shittiru, and the meaning is Mars 17, or Mars is a planet. The Mars is a planet. So farther than the sun by one planet. I don't know what, maybe Mars is the next planet to the Earth. And anyway, so the Mars is planet Mars. I'm talking about, which is what I'm talking about. Anyway, so the meaning of ICBM is intercontinental ballistic missile. I'm going to tell you again, intercontinental ballistic missile, which is abbreviated to be ICBM. So please make sure this one. Please make sure this one. Please also remember this one. That's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.